Alrighty, hello and good morning, folks. So, back to the Scrooge challenge here. And, yeah, kind of at a interesting little bit here. Basically because there's two potential fights here. First off, there's Nadamsa, which will be one of the more dangerous ones. That's one of the ones that can spawn in with a fair number of cockatrices. And, yeah, then things are friggin' terrifying. As well as the option to go to Phorampa. Now, again, the rules of this challenge, basically, if any tile is red, I can go to it. If it's a bonus area, I have to go and complete the entire thing. That's kind of the dangerous part of that. So, realistically, I think both are about equally dangerous, just because Phorampa would end up giving a whole lot of extra levels, potentially. But, anyway, might have some issues there. As far as the different, statuses of this party at this point, just kind of decided to go over it all again because it's been, like a week. But, yeah, so Mr. Scrooge here, he's doing alright as a kind of a Hammer Knight type setup here. I could probably go for a bit of a heavier build on him with a Kite Shield. Maybe give him that Tower Shield from down there, but I feel like his setup's pretty good. Light Shield works pretty alright with Heavy Armor. He's actually kind of running a sort of mid-weight type setup here. Like, if I want to go full heavy on him, could give him a helmet instead of the leggings. Drops him down a few points as far as avoidance goes, but then throws his defense way up there. But any darn ways, so I feel like this setup's pretty alright for him so far. Actually, I might even go full defensive on him. Just because, yeah, it might cause him not to get targeted as often. We'll go for that. So yeah, Nadamsa is probably what we're going to end up going for here. With Phorampa, I think afterwards we're probably going to end up going for that. Thing is, right now, I have a bunch of new classes that I want to use, but few ways to actually level them up. Since, again, this is one of the more limited runs you can do. So, 2 knights in front, just kind of the best way to do it, I figure. Casters, we're definitely going to want some casters. Archers, yeah, I'm going to want a couple archers. Get my healers in here, just because they're going to be a must. What else? We've got Canopus, he's going to be very necessary to keep some pressure on. I'm going to want him to actually kite around the side of the map. See if he can maybe pull off some stuff there. Going to get Eshaba here, just because she always seems to do a pretty good job. And on top of that, I'm actually going to throw the 2 new TKs in here. Might be wondering, like, oh yeah, crap, they're half the level of everybody else. They're going to suck. No, they won't. Don't worry about it. They're going to do just fine. Now, unfortunately, we don't have accessories for anyone. But I figure if they survive this fight, generally all these guys have to do is do damage. So I'm perfectly confident in their ability to do that. These archers will see... they're mostly there to finish units off. So as far as how this goes here, Voltaire and Scrooge are just going to push up the center. Eshava is going to try to do, kind of just lead these 2 TKs here in terms of just doing whatever damage they can. So they're going for maximum damage. Archers are going to finish units off, Canopus is going up for pressure, and these 2 back here are going to be doing their usual recovery job. I'm actually considering swapping them over in terms of their builds for the moment. Right, let's see, do you have counter hit? If I can get counter hit on them, getting them set up with a counter poison build might be ideal. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. See, at this point, the reason that they're running staves is for the free MP. If I run a counter hit build on them, they won't be able to really do anything as far as their training goes for their weapons, but it's fine. Basically, this allows them to have better defense and also just potentially throw out poisons. Since a lot of their cestuses aren't really expected to really do any damage, they're just basically countering with a poison debuff. As far as abilities go, I gave that, I think it was like some slowdown ability. Are you the ones who killed Darza? Yeah, I think so. So yeah, did they come in with cockatrices? I don't... Okay, they came in with a griffin. That's fine. 1 griffin is manageable. 2 cockatrices, not so much. So okay. Yeah, they came in with a pretty light squad here, especially with a fairy right at the front lines here. A fairy rogue by the looks of it. Alright, yeah. So they should go down without much trouble. Alright, fair enough. Let's go ahead and do that. Do the usual fast forwarding type shenanigans. So I may have mentioned this earlier, but this fight gets way, way easier if you have other units survive. You know what, actually I might have him run left instead of right this time because of how they spawned in. There we go. You're gonna do that. They're gonna start bringing dudes down the center. Let's have you go ahead and throw a heal out here. I hope that Regenerate is something that's able to drop. It's personally one of my new favorites as far as recent updates. So yeah, if you weren't aware, Regenerate is now something that clerics can do, rather than just draconic, any kind of draconic users. Rather, support draconic classes. That kind of used to be their thing before. It's kind of funny how that goes, because it was literally a case where they had one of the few times Regenerate showed up in the game. They're like, yeah, so it heals very slightly. Good luck going through Palace of the Dead to go ahead and get that ability, and you can train it to one guy, and you know, takes consumables. Yeah, aren't you glad you got it yet? Are you enjoying this yet? One of many, many strange choices. Oh, actually forgot. I changed Voltaire around to a sword build, just because his hammer is a little bit out of date. Want him to be doing a little bit better there. Can you recruit this guy? No. But worth a try. Worth a little bit of a peek here. Alright. So yeah, taking a little bit of damage. Nothing too worrying as of yet. Seems like we're doing pretty alright. Main thing before we really move forward anywhere is just to deal with this Griffin. So yeah, if you weren't aware, despite the fact that generally the consensus is, like, oh yeah, you know, they made beast units all weak and everything, just on paper. It's just on paper that the beasts seem weaker. I mean, it's funny because they're interestingly deceptive at this point. They end up taking more damage, but they end up dishing out so much more. There we go. Like, for example, you end up hitting a Griffin, it's like, yeah, they're gonna take, you know, let's see what here, 56, right? It's like, oh man, that's so much damage. If I attack this guy, it's only 40. Man, these guys must be so weak. Look at their health, though. That guy has 200 health, this thing has 308. So yeah, it ends up scaling up to the point where they still take about as much damage as they would have taken from a normal effectiveness attack in the original version, but now they end up building up their TP so much more, and it's freaking terrifying. Their dodge is a little low, which I kind of feel like Griffins need higher dodge, but, you know, I guess that would be kind of OP, because they already get pretty scary when you get 2 or 3 of them. I mean, they're really, really fast. They don't dodge too well, but they're crazy fast. So that's just something to bear in mind. Alright, yeah, I think I'm going to let Denam go for the recruit on this guy in a minute. Unless I want to charge forward, not really. Yeah, you just focus on this guy. Would use Terrifying Impact if I had it, but he doesn't. Okay. Tell you what. Go for the recruit. If not, just smack him in the face. We tried. We tried to have a conversation, but no. DK wants to be all fancy, like, no, I need a signing bonus. I can't just join you. Do we look like we're swinging signing bonuses? Only got like 50 grand in the bank, come on. Freaking chump change. And also, in case it wasn't clear, that is absolutely meant to be sarcastic. Just because you occasionally get that one guy and it's like, no, but signing bonuses are 50 grand, what are they, learning to be a lawyer or something? Like, no, that's the joke. The joke is that this party is incredibly rich, but doesn't have any good equipment. Alright, yep. Probably shouldn't have moved. Oh, hang on, just got a random message here. Okay, there we go, sorry, just don't even have the Twitch thingy up here, which I probably should, huh? You... Alright, now's when I go to this thingy and find out, like, oh yeah, no, it's still somehow got the wrong title. Alright, actually, surprisingly, it has the correct title. How about that? That's a friggin' first right there. Never has the right title. So yeah, half-level TK is working out just fine. The thing is, if you're bringing on new classes, though, if you know you've got a boss fight coming up or something like that, yeah, no, that's definitely not the time to be bringing them along. Like right here, this fight can be difficult, but their role still serves it well, because the main difficulty is the fact that there's griffins and stuff like that, and against beast units, honestly, rookies are just as good as vets, just because they've got a ton of health. The idea is that you have to break down their health rather than anything else. Okay, how are these guys? Pretty decent. So can you? Yeah, there we go. Maybe Bane can go ahead and finish this thing. Please. Well, I mean that works too. So you're gonna go ahead and do that. Go ahead and claim whatever this is. Okay, leather armor. That doesn't really do us much good. Uh-huh. Lots of messages all of a sudden today. Yeah, let's see if we can recruit this archer. Join us! Oh. Well, then die. And nobody got time for those dudes that aren't joining us. Actually, wait a second. You have a longbow? You got a javelin and a dirk. You know what? I actually want that knife. So, you know, you're gonna join some other way. Getting smacked by this guy. Might be wondering why exactly do I... Oh, you know what? No, that guy's gonna join. Yeah, no, that guy's... No priority getting that TK to join. That is a shiny new two-hander, and I want my dudes to have it. Join us, you dick! Good job. Thank you for your weapon. Please go murder your friend now. Okay. He should come in with a finisher, so yeah. Go ahead and stun this guy. Perfect. Yeah, he doesn't have recruit, so go ahead and finish her off. As much as I like that dagger, it's not really worth having the extra archer flying around. Okay, next up, let's go think on you. Just go ahead and claim this bag before somebody else does. Actually, no, you back up because you need to heal a little bit. Alright, we're gonna lose our new guy, but that's perfectly fine. The new archer comes in, plink away at this guy. Interestingly, I think I mentioned this previously, but this is one of the ones where you can actually save the boss. Because yeah, friggin' ladies preggers, but going ahead and leading a fight here. Because that's a smart thing to do. Yeah, basically if you get her down to critical health and then wait a turn, the fight will just automatically end, because he's like, dude, there's not even an option here, this is... We're not gonna have a, you know, kill the kid option here, just no. This fight's done, you don't need to be doing this. So, it's a good way to end it. Alright. Yeah, this fight's going a bit better than I was expecting. Actually, I was kind of worried, to be totally honest. Let's go ahead and go here. Gotta recruit, right? Please recruit. Darn. This is still workable. Does that guy have any good ear to be worth recruiting, for that matter? Oh yes, that is a fancy new spear. I want that. So I'll be having that later. And there's the Chucky that we have to go ahead and beat. You move up here. What's this guy's deal again? Nah, whatever. Friggin' wizard guy. Goodbye. Drop some of your spells, please. Go give me a little bit of a Whopongo here. Dang, these loud as hell neighbors today. Okay, Magmorb 2, fantastic. Got our first tier 2 ability there, I think. Right now, you join us. We need that spear. We need that spear! Good. She dropped her dagger. You go here, and yeah, I really, really, really want that spear. So the funny thing is, it's not just because it's an upgraded thing, but any boulder stuff that I can get and hold on to is gonna be perfect. Come on, please join. Yeah, excellent. Like, especially a spear there, just because we're gonna be a little bit limited in terms of anti-undead options. So having the ability to basically insta-delete them is gonna be darn useful. Yep. Throw a little bit of a heal out there, and yeah, after this fight, the TKs should be leveled up enough to be able to use heavier armor. The only issue with them being squishy for this one is the fact that they can't use mail yet. So as soon as they can use a full set of mail, we'll be pretty much good to go here. We'll have an entire row of frontliners, and especially we'll have disposable frontliners, so we'll be able to throw them out and make them do whatever. It'll be good stuff. I feel like overall this run is going pretty well. And again, going way more interesting than the vanilla counterpart right now. Because the vanilla one, quite frankly, just has nothing going for it at all. We're talking about a situation where it's, oh wow, okay. Yeah, we're talking about a situation where basically it's just going and spamming a Cherry Ronde all day. That's all that run is right now. So I wouldn't recommend it, but there's going to be an interesting thing coming up relatively soonish. Namely, there is what's it? The Japanese version of this. Might be wondering what's different, and originally, I thought nothing. I thought it was the exact same balance and everything. And I thought the only difference was the fact that the DLC didn't come included. Which is like basically all your pirates and everything else, and your codas and whatever else. But yeah, apparently that's not the case. Actually, as I understand it, the balance is stupidly different. So, like to the point where apparently somebody missed a decimal, so they end up like with every level they get a full bore like load of stats instead of the previous version. So like in the original, it was still pretty friggin' jacked in terms of balance because they ended up getting like 0.1 or whatever it was for every one of their stats per level. But you could potentially near infinitely level somebody, so you know you could have one core team that would end up getting all the stats from all of the different things. But anyway, so apparently they ended up changing that to just one. It was just friggin' like one stat that you ended up getting every level, which seems like it might be really stupid. So, anyway, I wanted to go ahead and give that a little bit of a peek at some point. Let's see when it happens. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there. We got a couple dudes going down here. If we end up taking some injuries in order to get more equipment, I'm perfectly fine with that. It's a fair trade-off at this point. Like, as long as we don't lose Fulkert or Ban, whatever, everybody else, except for Eshiva, I think, can take an injury. Pretty much, our archers take relatively little training, so if we end up losing some of them, it's fine. Our frontliners, I mean, we just have piles of those things, so whatever. Yep. If you're wondering what's going on with the up and down damage on Voltaire here, basically swords do more damage the lower your armor is, whereas the heavier weapons will... Actually, they all do that, but generally speaking, with swords, they end up scaling a lot better. Alright, please crit this. Dang it, that would have been a really sweet crit. Whatever. You want to join us? Won't say no. Yeah, so we just go over here. We just continue beating down Vendre here. Alright, there we are. So, yeah, there's not really much left to this fight. Just a matter of cleanup and looting. Archer would be nice to get. There we go. Fordarza never stood a chance. Yeah, well, he actually did way better, I have to say. Like, his fight almost ended up taking out some dudes. This fight, not so much. It tends to be one of the easier ones. Again, unless you end up getting a situation where they spawn in with multiple griffins, then it can become a bit of a clustercluck. That ended up happening the last time that I went through this route on one of these challenges. Yeah, they just friggin' came in with 2 griffins, and they were just completely wrecking face for a while. I think we ended up taking 3 injuries or something like that on that fight. Oh well. Anyway, still continuing to have these things tick down here. As long as this Witcher, yeah, as long as the Enchantress over here goes down, I'm fine with leaving it at that. 5, good. So it'll just take one more cherry top for her to be done. Actually, you know what? Go attempt to go for the poison. Alright, now you either join or get squished. Apparently you guys don't really learn, do you? Oh, actually, wait a minute. He can't even hit her! I guess that's why the threat didn't work. So yeah, if you're wondering why I'm not using any like recovery, or not recovery, but evacuation items just yet, it's just because it doesn't really make sense to. pretty much everybody that's on the ground is completely disposable. I mean, we've got an entire roster of units, so I'd rather save them for the ones that actually get trained up. I know that seems cruel and unnecessary, but whatever. Such is life. It's not exactly a nice place sometimes. Okay. Ooh, this guy comes in with Spark Sphere too. Fancy. Perfect. She's gone. You're just gonna sit there. He's poison. No poison. After you get out of here. Can you poison? Good. Alright, so she's poisoned. We can go ahead and just arch the hell out. Oh! Okay, her armor's a little bit better than I was thinking. Fair enough. Might end up taking a couple more injuries then. Whatever. Hopefully Sarah will be fine. It's kind of a little bit odd that Asheva here still doesn't have any new stuff to her. Jeffrey, you stand still. Yeah, I think she... Or wait, that's Paige. Yeah, I think she might be dead. Oh well, we've got more. We've got them all in a pile back at base. It's fine. Again, seems mean, but it's very true. Nobody really needs healing, so get you out of the way to let some attackers come in. Same with you. Perfect. You poke, you can poke. There we go. So she just gives up at this point. See? Like, yeah, we came to go free friggin' Sistina here. Like, how about you don't get yourself killed? And yeah, then she basically reveals that she had the option to leave the entire time. Smart. It's like, oh, I can't go on, but I'm gonna let you know about that before I run away. Alright, so we got more rogues if we want. Actually, I think I might even forego ninjas entirely for this run in order to use a bunch of rogues. Because crossbow rogues are pretty friggin' baller. Alright, you want to join? I think what I'm probably going to do is try to recruit some rogues, get some free training out of them. Alright, so she joins up at this point. Now that makes this next Goliath fight ridiculously easy. That's basically just sit back and do whatever. But first things first, let's go ahead and get these guys armored up. Yeah, I guess we don't really have that much armor flying around, do we? Oh, by the way, with those rings, I ended up giving one to Asheva here, gave the other one to Canopus. If you're wondering why they held up so much better. Just because she's on her last life, and she's been very useful up to this point, so I want to keep her around as much as possible. Okay, new guys. Yeah, I'm gonna need your gear. You will be called upon if you're needed. But for now, we're just gonna do this. Can't quite use their new stuff just yet. Yeah, you get that fancy new sword, though. Fancy, fancy. You get upgraded to a rapier. Should probably give you a kite shield for a little bit of extra defense there. You know what? That's not even... Yeah, that's not really even useful. What about a helmet? There we go. That'll do you pretty good. And I think that's all that we probably need. Paige dead. No, Paige is still alive. I always thought that that whole "this was a mistake from the very beginning" thing, I always thought that was one of their dying lines. Apparently not quite the case. Did we get a bow out of that? No, we didn't. So we're still stuck on only 3 longbows. That's fine. Honestly, we really don't need more. If they die, we're never really going to use more than 3 archers in one fight anyway. Where's my recruit wizard? Here you go. Have a shiny new knife. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted the knife for. I know. Don't judge. But okay. Let's see, what kind of new stuff can you learn here? I probably want to have you augmenting air. And, do I have any new air stuff for you to learn? No. But we do have a lot of tier 2s flying around. Purify... We are going to probably want to Purify Fencer. Alright, you don't have a magic type yet. Got fire, I guess we can replace that with water. Alright. Or hell, we'll just give you another one right here. Learn water, Aqua Blast, Purify. Good. Actually, he comes in with an interesting version of what's his face, guy from the Palace of the Dead, the Warlock guy. Can't remember his name at the moment. But he comes in with an interesting version of what that guy had, namely where you have like a tier 1 of one element, a tier 2 of another one. All of it's confusing and really kind of stupid looking. Hello there, Mr. Tanaka Roman. So what the heck is a Scrooge challenge? Basically, it's kind of a variant on the just like complete pickup only challenge that I like to do. Namely, it's you can never use a store except for anything but crafting. So if you go to the store, you're allowed to pick up crafting books and you're allowed to craft things, but you can only use a store if that particular fight landed on a store. So like, for example, at the end of this fight, I'll be able to go and do some crafting stuff, but anything before then is just a no-go. Actually, you know what, let's have these guys put away for the moment, and yeah, I definitely want my Dragoon in here. I definitely want probably 2 rogues in here, so I'm going to put the flying rogues. A couple healers, and probably a Spellblade, probably Mr. Bartholomew. Anyway, so the idea is, yeah, that you're basically going through the entire thing using only stuff that you've picked up along the way. On top of that, there's an extra caveat to the roll that I can only go to a red tile on the map. So some of the times they don't turn red for the sake of the story. That's just something the game always did, and I'm like, oh, it'll be a surprise when you get back to the castle. But yeah, no. So instead of that, I can only go to either the next plot point or one of the optional areas, but if one of the optional areas is selected, I have to go through the entire thing. So it's just going to essentially turn into a long gauntlet with potentially some good stuff in there, but also very likely going to lead to some injuries and losses and stuff like that, because all of your optional areas end up scaling much more harshly. Alright, so I'm going to send one rogue out here as a bit of a distraction. But yeah, so it's a really fun run. Like, it worked kind of with the original version. Quite frankly, it got pretty friggin' busted a good bit of the way through. Just because it basically, if you played on vanilla, it just became like, okay, train everybody with swords. Use only swords, because they're very easy to get over the course of this run, and they're one of the only weapons that are both easy to get and actually have a finisher that would do a ton of damage. And then it's just literally using one finisher on everything, and yeah, just sitting there healing over and over and over, using Cherry Ronde over and over and over. I wouldn't recommend it on vanilla, but yeah, with one vision, you end up getting a lot of cool stuff going on. Like, for example, I have a party of way more units than anybody would ever have at this point, because we're just going around recruiting everything. Having a bunch of loadouts that don't really necessarily make a lot of sense. But whatever, we're going to make it work. So far, a lot of these fights have come down to whether or not certain things can be recruited. But on top of that, if you ever neglect a class, like for example, my TKs are a little bit lower than anybody else, but they're holding up perfectly fine right now, anybody else can just kind of sit in the back row and train. The skills go up faster in one vision, so you don't have to worry about sitting there and auto-grinding somebody forever. That mess was friggin' dreadful, I have to say. Alright, he's gonna do basically no damage, because he's literally 10 times lower in level, but whatever. That's a little bit more than even the mod can do. There we go, they're just gonna throw those out there, be distractions for one turn, and then probably run away. Oh, hello there, Mr. Pro Cow. How are you? But yeah, so, it's a fun challenge. It's definitely a fun challenge. Like, I've done this one casually a few times. It's just, you end up with something different every time. It's kind of like a low-key randomizer run in a way. But it's like, after a little while, like once you get used to all the tricks of the game and everything else, you want to start doing some weird challenges, and god dang, I love me some weird challenges. So yeah. So yeah, you wind up relying on some pretty odd stuff. Not to mention, we've been sacrificing units left and right in order to keep the important stuff alive, like all of the wizards and crap that you can't really replace that easily. All the frontliners, though, no problem. Just throw them right into the blender. No worries right there. I got a Dragoon that I'm training up in the back here, even though, technically speaking, I don't need them as of this moment. But anyway, we might need them later. It's specifically one boss in Chapter 4 that I want to bring them along for. I know, I'm getting ready way early on that. Okay, we've got a Fern Bolus. Normally... yeah, you know what? Yeah, on top of that, it also kind of comes down to the whole thing of, with random enemies, if they're killed off, they get a chance to drop a consumable or two. If they're recruited, you're guaranteed to get all their equipment. So it's one of those kinds of things where you're kind of given a choice between who to beat and who to save and all that kind of thing. It's like right now we've got enough recruits, we're doing pretty alright for equipment, all things considered. So I'm probably going to start going like full-on psycho mode here. But our Chaos Stream is probably amazing. People are like, oh man, these guys are super peaceful going along, just like getting along with everybody. I am going to recruit that ninja though. I want to recruit the ninjas if at all possible, just for the sake of getting free experience out of them. Basically, if you recruit a class that you've never used before, they end up getting even more experience for some reason. There we go. So it looks like I'll be facing Seagull. Don't think my next opponent will be able to stop me. Next bird, just kind of matchup. Yeah, I think you and Vector are kind of like just in the running at this point for winning it. Like there's it seems pretty solid, and Vector seems pretty confident that he's going to beat you. By the way, dude was going on over and over about how many times his AI consistently beat yours. It's like, man, that's just mean right there. But no, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I really want to see an upset there, though. Because how hilarious would that be? He's going on for like months or whatever that he's like, oh, he's totally gonna win it. Frostbite's totally gonna beat Cow, and then, yeah. Then just like gets stuck on a wall and pummeled to death or something. Aw, dude. Dude, bad ninja. Go sit down. Okay, that was a pretty frickin' harsh turn. So let's go ahead and get you back here. Do I have anything? Yeah, I don't really even have anything for this. Oh well, whatever. Okay, so he's out of commission for now, until the silence wears off. That's gonna be a few rounds. Yeah, Cashway, you better get to healing. Now we may have to forego those plans I was talking about earlier, because wow, we just got friggin' rocked. There we go. Let's throw that out. Kind of feel it's a bit unsportsmanlike to build a counter to a specific person. I think it was more he was just trying to build a counter to everyone. Because it was literally just, he was sitting there going through pretty much everybody's builds. Yes, gonna beat everyone on this list, and yeah, it's definitely unsportsmanlike to do that, but, you know, it's a Vector. He wins by any means necessary. That's his thing. Okay, yeah, those ninjas are friggin' scary, though. So, unlike base game, where you had a whole lot of up and down as far as your ninjas and stuff went, they're very consistent in terms of, you know, just being low-key scary, I want to say. Dang it. I know it's a 10%, but I really got to roll that thing. Let's go for you. Just try to go for the stun here. Really doing Aegis for Fulkert here to keep him running. Yeah, I really need to get Aegis going on Voltaire already. It's way too late for him not to have that. But anyway, yeah, what was I getting at here? I forget what I was getting at here. Oh well. By any chance are you also a rogue? No, you are an archer. Right? Alright, we might go ahead and use some of these for the birdies. I'm going to get him out of the way in order to hopefully get that ninja to come closer, so that hopefully I can circle around with Denam and get him that way, because his recruit chances are a bit higher. Go ahead and throw item. I know I'm kind of burning consumables here, but... by any chance, can you water? Right, he doesn't even have the level to use what he needs to use. So that was your spear. Okay. Thank you. Now, this is going a little bit trickier than I wanted. Why do I not have Tabula Rasa on you yet? Yeah, once I get Tab, it'll be a bit of a different story. So Tabula Rasa is what used to be called Mother's Mercy. It's such an odd duck skill before. No! Well, crap, we lost our free wizard. Sucks. But yeah, so it used to be called Mother's Mercy. It was a very slow move that only healed the healer. And basically, the idea was that it's an anti debuff move, so it removes debuffs and everything. But it only works on the actual healer rather than anybody else, which seemed very strange for a healer class to do. It's like, yes, I can heal everybody, except I'm only healing myself this one time, so screw you guys. It was odd. It was odd. Now, let's go ahead and punch this ninja. Poison? Yes. Good. I'm not going to have time to go and try to save anybody else, so at this point we get who we get. Voltaire's still going to go for that guy on the top left. Denam's going to go for that ninja on the bottom. Unfortunately, he's going to have to attack her from the front, which that's going to be awful. So let's see, have a quad, but I didn't use it because I was expecting a bunch of heavies. It's like rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. And actually, that's why Formula Front's original version worked way better. So if you've never seen it, the original version is basically 5v5. So everybody brings in, 5 different builds of varying types. And yeah, then everybody just kind of mashes it out. And it works really well. Like, if you ever look at the Japanese side tournaments, it's really fun to watch. But yeah. You. You're gonna need it the most. But yeah, basically it comes in with a thing where it's 5v5. They just go in order from whatever order you deploy them in. And it's what's interesting about it is that they end up getting some ammunition back and some AP back every time. It's like after every fight, I think it's like they get 25% AP back, 25% ammo, and then they just go in damaged into the next fight. And then they just keep going and going and going. And that's basically why they left some weapons pretty friggin' OP, like the napalms and stuff like that. Because realistically, of those 5 slots, only a couple of them would be able to use them. So like, you always see BPs come up, you always see things like the napalms come up. But again, they're not gonna win a fight by themselves. Since it's 5 units, those few weapons aren't gonna do it for you. But yeah, it's really fun to watch. So I'd really recommend checking that out at some point. All right, please finish this guy off. Raven. Right. Here's what I need. You need to put this guy to... Dang it. Put somebody to sleep. Whatever, screw it. Good. I'm glad that she comes in with a sleep bomb. Hopefully she retains that ability after this fight. Absolutely love that sleep bomb ability. It is pretty frickin' baller. Let's go ahead and go for an AoE heal. Let's save for these. Kinda sucks that we only have one AoE heal still, but we'll manage. Pick up this thing before it's lost, and it's only some money. Nothing in that pile does us any good. Let's see. Virgins beats heavies, even ones with 81 G pretty much every time. Yep, but that's the thing. If there's two heavies in that fight, doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to lose eventually. It's going to run out of shots eventually. And that's what ends up happening during every one of those tournaments. And that's what really sucks, that they don't allow you to test team versus team. But yeah, what is it, VGFF, I believe, was the channel on YouTube there. But they do live tournaments and everything else. It's all in Japanese, but dude, those things just, oh man, some of those fights are so freaking clutch. It's amazing. It's so fun to watch. Try to tune into those whenever I can. Which, granted, every day becomes less and less time that's available, but hey, I need it. Alright, now, as much as I need my Dragoon up, this ninja here has the potential to go and potentially one-shot the leader if I can open up a route to him. Oh, by the way, interesting thing. There is, I was mentioning it a few times, but Rake said it may be possible to add a dialogue line to this fight that will allow you to just pay the guy 30 grand instead of participating in this battle. So, yeah, if you were a bit like me, that every time you're going through this, you're like, man, it's a real bummer that we have to take out this guy, he's only trying to save his kid. Yeah, there may be an option for you. Okay, you know what? This may seem like a bit of an odd move, but there we go. Go ahead and get him fixed up, pick up this card. Bit of agility out of it. Now you... finish him. These roll a 2. If you don't know, with the mod, they basically roll anywhere from 1 to 3. Hang on. Yeah, whatever. Cool deal. So yeah, they roll 1 to 3. Previously it was 1 to 5, but it was so weak that you ended up doing 1 damage most of the time. And it was just disappointment incarnate. Okay, main man Edgar is gone. Bartholomew here is surrounded by birds. Hello there, Mr. Evan. Here we get Haze. Actually, wait, I probably should have had him learn it, because he's the one that would be using Haze, I think. Let's see. Don't know how he'll do against those quaddies. I don't know, there's a lot of weird, like, explodey quaddies that seem unusually organized. I don't even know how that wound up happening. It's like, I know that there's one guy that came in with multiple accounts and all that, and TBM all but confirmed it in one of the comments, but yeah, it's kind of at the point where there's no way to really prove it, and what can you really do about halfway through the tournament? So whatever, if the guy wins it, he wins it. Just still seems such a weird thing that somebody bothered. Oh well. Kind of like that one guy that shows up to some, like, friggin' preschool Pokemon tournament or something like that. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat all these kiddos at this game, I'm gonna win all the prizes. Except in this case, it's more people more than likely in their late 20s to 30s trying to relive a series that's less than around at this point. But whatever. Anyway. Hang on, I need to step away for just a moment here. Because I think it is time for one of my dudes to get going here. Yeah, she wasn't quite getting up before, but now she seems... Oh, no. Okay, ran right back into bed. Well, then I will go ahead and finish this up and then go check on him. We'll see how that goes. Okay. Can you potentially take out this dude? Hell no, you can't. Okay. Whatever, you go this way then. I'm gonna be relatively careful as far as she goes, because ninjas are kind of a glass cannon. Alright. Finisher, hell yeah you do. Please finish him. At least silence him. Okay, you are more than likely screwed then. So he stays there. I'm basically trying to buy time for Denam to run around and recruit that guy. We already got one ninja, so I'm mostly okay with this. Let's go start working on you then. Or maybe you... No, let's start working on you. I want to get as many spells as possible. Excellent. Christina coming in for the tag team here. Good job. Please, ninja guy, get out of here. Yes! Hover draft. Okay. If that's the one I'm remembering, then we should be very good on that one. Let's go just do a regular heal here. Okay, that's going to be our unconscious guy that's taking his turn. Okay, next is Voltaire. Come on, just go ahead and recruit this guy. 34%, that's decent. I might end up wanting just to heal him so Folker doesn't finish him off. Because we really only have... I think that may have been our only turn. We might be able to do something there. Yeah, so he's going to take out Barth... Nope, he's going to fail. Okay. Yeah, those summons of theirs, very strong, very unreliable. Dual Mage Blades, fantastic. Would have been nice to be able to knock out Folker here. I think he's got Sleep Ward or something. I mean, I guess it makes sense. The guy's basically a scout for a good long while. Which is funny, because why do they send the heavily armored guy out as a scout? Like, they've got Sistina, who's basically been shown that she... And again, she did get caught, so I guess she is kind of a sucky scout, too. Maybe the front... Maybe that's the whole issue with the Liberation Front. They just don't know how to scout. It's like, let's send this lady out, and she's like going and running out in public and just screaming at people in the street. Like, okay, that didn't work. Let's go ahead and send this guy out. And the guy just friggin' walking along in his heavy armor. Like, well, I guess we don't know what we're doing, do we? You go ahead and just throw your area heal out here. Quad doggo team. Funnily enough, I actually had a quad dog on Verdict Day. And I called it Doge of Much War. That's, oh. You killed my dude! But yeah, so you have the system in that one called Unax that you put together a bunch of AIs, and you gave them really specific controls, actually. Like, you know, like, oh, you're within this particular range, you need to go use this particular weapon, you need to, you know, fire at this particular area, because you basically had, like, 3 dimensions of firing and everything else. Okay, good, we got WAP 2, that's an upgrade. Bunch of money, his Scroogey self is definitely happy with that, I'm sure. Okay, Garnet wants to join, hell yeah, you're in. Get in here. So I finally have a ninja that's actually gotten some training. A rank 2 in those, so she's got her sleep move, so already she's got 2 different methods of putting dudes to sleep. Wait, is that your first one? I don't know why I'm forgetting stuff today. Yes, that is the sleep move. Comes in with those, comes in with double attack. Do you still remember everything? Good. So she's still, yeah, she's fully trained in everything. Yes, you are fully qualified to murder. We don't have anything to take advantage of that just yet, because they need to be at 10. I don't really have anything aside from this knife that you can use for the time being. So we'll give her a couple levels. Let her get up to scratch a little bit. I'll probably give her that Ring of Vigor at that point. So we got Bode. We got Bode. This is good Bode, though. This is the generally non-threatening Bode. It's not very foreboding. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, it's just a cutscene Bode. She's not like, man, we gotta go murder all the dudes. It's like, yeah, why don't you just come with us? She's like, oh man, I liked you from the moment we met. Let's go freaking get married or whatever. Wait, what? Okay, level changed. Volker wants to join too. Hell yeah. So we got dudes. First off, Volker, you come up here. You're up here with the dudes. Stina, you are with the fencers over here. You get in your spot. You are the new head of the ninjas, so you go back on, and you join the TK friggin' throwaway squad, wherever they are. There we go. We got a big old pile of them. Alright, anyway, I need to step away for just a moment here to double check everything's all good with the kiddos, and then we will continue on from there. Just a moment, please. Hello. How's it going? Okay, so let's go ahead and look stuff over here. First of all, Mr. Voltaire, you can't afford Aegis yet, can you? No, you can't. However, you can afford a new skill slot for it. Probably a couple battles off from being able to do anything with him, really. He's getting weirdly behind, all things considered. Phalanx, yeah, that'll be good on him, though. At least he can Phalanx. Probably learn a bit more on Scrooge here. Field Alk 1 for safety. And yeah, he's a little bit shy on being able to get counter hit. That's fine. Going pretty defensive. Not worried about getting that. What about recruit on you? That's kind of a must at this point. So go ahead and slap that sucker on there. Okay. Mr. Radcliffe. Feels like Demon's Pact is the way to go for you. Maybe we can get one of them orc type situations in our party. Okay, yeah, got some disposable TKs. We're just gonna leave those for parts where I know they're not gonna make it. Let's see, for you, you just get a slot. You also probably just get a slot. You can't afford a slot. And what about you? Also probably just a slot. Yeah, he's gonna get wind shot at some point, and I want to pick that up. Funnily enough, it's weirdly placed on the list just because of the way that the game kind of just stores stuff. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna end up being put into a different place. Yeah, no, it seems like wind shot just isn't there yet. But we can get an augment, so we're probably gonna want instill air. So for that, we're gonna want augment air. So we'll start working on that. I always like building him towards a wind build. Just because of wind shot, so we'll have that on there. But anyway, oh yeah, so earlier I was talking about that whole thing with what's it? Oh man, dang it! I forgot to do that crafting thing again. Somebody please remind me after this next fight that crafting is a good idea and I should do it. Because there's a few side grades that I want to pick up. Actually, wait. No, there's a few medicines that we can pick up. That's what we need more than anything. Specifically, I want to have at least one of the better gems. So yeah, at this point the options are either go into Rhyme and deal with that whole situation, or potentially deal with a ton of just an absolute gauntlet, really, of going through Phorampa. Now, we do have Exorcists, so that will be an option. I believe these both have Exorcism, so yeah, those will be good. Why can't you... You're not level 11 yet. Okay. I feel like Rhyme is going to be a little bit of a thing. It's not one of the harder fights, but it is one that you have to last out a good while. So I think I might actually go for the option for Phorampa here. So let's go ahead and give that a go. Alright, so go in here. Go for the Adventurer's Gap. So just testing. Signed up 1 minute ago. Well, thank you for signing up. Hope your day's gone all well and nifty-like. So it was good seeing new peoples in here. Let's put Sarah back here. Let's put you here. Yeah, I want Asheva getting trained up a little bit. If she dies, by the way, I'm just going to transfer her skills over to somebody else. She's at least getting some decent training in. Get another TK in here, get one of the healers in. Probably bring in Sistina as well. She's going to be pretty good. So, if you're wondering how unique characters work in this, basically you've got your uniques, you've got your basics and all that sort of thing, like usual. But as far as the uniques go, they only come in with slightly better stats, and sometimes worse in other cases. Like, so, for example, with her, she's got slightly better dex and avoidance, as well as, I think, average agility, but she's got worse resistance, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's kind of there. And actually, since I don't have any better spears for her, I'm going to go ahead and throw Bartholomew in here. He's kind of our current ace as far as that class goes. So for this one, I want to make sure to have enough to be able to take down at least a Griffin in a single attack, or in a single round. Going forward, though, probably for the second fight, I'm going to be able to put in some weaker units. Definitely going to keep at least a couple recruiters on hand, so that we'd be able to maybe get some extra stuff out of these things. Like, for example, I didn't bring a Beast Tamer along, but if I can recruit that Beast Tamer down there, I can get a little bit of extra experience for the class, so that's what we're going to do. God dang, that coffee is delicious! Alright. Start plinking on you a little bit here. So you start doing that. We're just gonna kind of sit here. Yeah, everyone's gonna... Yeah, you're all gonna sit here. Bartholomew does have a ranged attack, so he's gonna go and take out this wizard. Everybody else is just gonna sit here. Once the Beast Tamer comes up, I'm hoping we can deal with both of these birdies before then. Once the Beast Tamer comes up, we're gonna deal with anything else. So we're gonna try to recruit him. The birdies will see. Basically, you get extra experience based on how many units you have. Looks like the cleric won't get a turn, so we might have to heal the archer. Excellent. Please get your stun. Good. Now go ahead and defend Sarah a little bit. That'll be good. I'm actually going to throw a healing leaf on her. I'm really looking forward to the point where I can get, hopefully get some draining moves on my TK. Might be able to have him do a little bit of damaging and healing at the same time. Coffee's the Devil's Brew. Yeah, weirdly enough, I've been... Okay, so, a bit of a backstory here. So, when I met my wife years ago, you know, we basically... we were both relatively neutral on like, the whole religion thing, but there was a thing that, like, okay, so just, you know, technically Mormon and all that kind of thing. Like one of those things where, you know, some relatives were Mormon, so they kind of became that as kind of a show of support. And I think we've gone there a couple of times just kind of for the hell of it. But anyway, point being, for whatever reason, coffee is banned. Like, that's one of those things I completely didn't know. So I'm going there, like, we're going to the church thing or whatever. So I'm asking, you know, like, what's this like? She's like, you know, you really just kind of sit there. I mean, everyone comes in, they share a bunch of stories, and then you just kind of sit there. That's all there is to it. So I'm like, okay, you know, whatever, that's fine. So, you know, she's saying, you know, go just bring something to do, because it's probably going to be pretty boring. So, so I do that. And so I bring my phone, and I bring my thermos of coffee. And so I get there, and, you know, we're walking in, she's looking at my hand, she's like, what is that? Like, it's coffee. Like, yeah, you can't technically have that. I'm like, well, why can't I have it? It's like, well, it's kind of a long story, but you technically can. And then I find out later, apparently, there's a belief there. Like, of all the weird things, there's just a belief that coffee's friggin' evil for some reason. Like, something along the lines of, if you drink coffee, you lose all your Jesus perks or something. And, like, there's this whole kind of belief system in there of, like, if you follow a bunch of rules, you'll get a bunch of superpowers under very specific circumstances. I mean, to each their own. It's, you know, it is what it is. Personally, you know, I'm kind of neutral on the whole thing. It's just, it seemed very specific to me, especially because I thought, see, on paper, I kind of understood what they were going for. Because the way I understood it going there the first time was just, you know, okay, caffeine, you know, caffeine is technically a drug and all that kind of thing. If it's banned, okay, I can totally understand that. They ban every other kind of drug there. Fine, you know, makes sense. Why not? Come to find out later, like, they're going and drinking Pepsi and Coke and everything else. Like, I thought all this was banned. Like, no, it's just coffee that's banned, not like caffeine in general. Like, but why though? What's wrong with coffee specifically? And apparently it's the same thing that Christianity had run into several times, where some guy wrote something down and they didn't have other stuff available at the time, so the context of it ended up being really weird eventually. So, like, in that case, it was only coffee at the time. That was the caffeinated thing. Then you had pop and stuff come out later, but it never really adapted. So, like, for example, with Christianity's thing, you know, their whole, you know, you gotta have abstinence all the time thing was originally, it was like the original anti-STD campaign, basically. Like, they had a whole bunch of stuff like that going on. They had nothing that they could potentially do about it. So they're like, look, dudes, if you're not marrying somebody, don't bang, okay? It's just, it'll keep everybody healthy. You don't want any kind of creepy diseases going around, just do it, okay? And so, you know, they did, and it made sense at the time. Also, Asheva might die here. Crap. And then, yeah, over time it turned into, oh my god, if anybody touches a boob, they'll friggin' explode because Satan made them blow up and stuff. It's just like it stuff got really weird over time. Let's just say. All right, you go ahead and punch and poison this guy. Hopefully, no. Okay, fine then. See, coffee teaches children to cast spells granted by the Dark Lord. Yeah, might as well. It's you know, we are a weird species. Weird species. Like, we made all this amazing stuff. Let's come up with a bunch of reasons never to like it, and not believe it, and hate it in every possible way. Actually, I really liked watching this one thing recently. That's this scientist guy basically going through, just kind of, you know, discussing a whole bunch of weird theories and stuff that people come up with. You know, flat Earth kind of stuff and whatever. And specifically, there was one recently of some chick going through and like coming up with a whole bunch of stuff off the top of her head as to why dinosaurs should never have existed. She's like, oh man, nothing ever eats, you know, whatever it was, like 2% of its body weight in a day, and it's like, that's literally exactly how much people eat. It's just like, it's like the kind of thing where just every single thing that they said was wrong in some manner or another, and they genuinely believed it, is the thing. We're a weird species. Oh well. Oh well. Such is life, I suppose. So there is a small chance we might be able to reach these guys, but an even larger chance that they're just going to run away to the hills like they friggin' always do. So we're probably going to want to evac Ashava. Normally I'd say don't bother, because, you know, she's a frontliner, but dude, she has earned her keep up to this point. She has basically won every fight that she's participated in, and eaten dirt as a result. So, whatever. She gets saved. Anybody that you know, really goes above and beyond, they get saved. But, whatever. Go on from there. So yeah, original point being that, yeah, don't bring coffee to a Mormon thing, which is weird because, okay, apparently decaf coffee is okay. Apparently, if you're not serious about liking the coffee, it's okay too, or something. It's just like people do it anyway. And again, the main story, like one of the stories that I heard while I was over there was like, okay, this guy never drank coffee or did anything else, and look, he was in World War II, and then he got shot off a boat, and he pulled himself up with a single finger, just Jeebus powers and stuff. Like, okay. I think that's called adrenaline, but I will not mention this at the time. Anyway, so yeah, different religions, interesting to experience, is I guess the main takeaway there. Right. They're really being a bit of a dick here, aren't they? Okay, we can finish off Boyle, or we can try to recruit him. That would be an extra longbow. He might drop it, whatever. Let's go for that. So you lose all your Jesus perks, is that hilarious to put something like that? Well, I mean, it's basically the way it was described. Like, it was straight up described like video game mechanics, so I don't know. I mean, they literally said... Let's see, how was the actual phrasing of it? It was, like, oh, you have your I think it was like your pact or something, and you have to keep it, and then you get all of these extra blessings or whatever, and then you basically just lose that and have to go through a bunch of processes to get it back. And they literally do have, like, actual processes that you go through to get all your stuff back. Yeah. I mean, it has to be doing something for some folks, 'cause, god dang, there's a lot of super rich Mormons out there, but either way. That's its own story. Alright. Let's go this way. See, read kids' book that tried to explain dinosaurs without conflicting Christianity by falsely stating that fossils formed under pressure or something like that. Yeah, I think the most hilarious one is, they're like, oh yeah, they weren't dinosaurs, it was a totally satanic thing. He just sort of decided to screw with people by putting dinosaur bones there. That's really the best you could come up with? I mean, that doesn't even sound like you're trying. But, whatever. People want to be contrarians to a pretty ridiculous extent sometimes. That's just people. People are a weird species. Okay. Smack you with shield, say hello, join us, no, okay. Probably should have gone for a recruit and then a hammer, but whatever. He dead now. Hey buddy, you dead. Eventually. We'll get there. We'll get there. It'll take us a second because I have to get this other guy to do it. There we go. The one with the way lower odds ends up hitting, but we'll deal. Okay, got some Beast Tamer XP. So Beast Tamers are now up to scratch. So yeah, some folks that were worried as to whether, you know, you had to go through all this grinding and everything else to get your classes up. Now, you just, generally speaking, it's 2 battles, you get somebody up to like level 7, and they're basically good to go at that point. As soon as everybody can access their first tier of serious equipment, they're good to go. So like right here, these guys get light armor, they get this. They can use heavy spears, so as soon as I can upgrade my fencers here, I will actually upgrade them to Boulder and pass these Bolges down to my Beast Tamers. That Maul will do them okay for now, but I can start using them seriously now. How many points do you... Did you seriously come in without your weapon skill? Friggin' rude, man. Whatever, we'll worry about that later. Yeah, 200. So it's 200 for them to get their respective skills. We'll go ahead and save that right there. And yeah, again, just to clarify on the rules, I have to go through all of the parts of this that are available, so that includes the zombie map. So that's going to be a whole thing here. But anyway, one moment. Let me double check if everything's all good. Wait, what? So a Facebook video where you can turn coal into diamonds using peanut butter? What the hell? Man, yeah, send that link. I wanna have that problem. Hang on, be right back. Alright, I'm back. Okay, moving on here. So, I don't think there's much to update party-wise, so we're just going to kind of keep going here. I think this, it's not going to be this one, maybe this one will be the time to, so actually no, we'll try this one. Try one ninja off in the back here. So, by the way, one thing I forgot to mention earlier, so on the whole, like, Mormonism thing, like, dude, I will say of all the different ones that, all the different experiences with religion and all that over the course of my life there, I have to say that they had probably the most metal intro to their book that I've seen yet. Like, literally half the stuff described could be a metal album cover, for God's sake. I mean, one of the very first stories in there was just somebody shanking a dude because they kind of felt like it. Like, it's weird, man. It's weirdly metal, like I said. Okay, moving on here. We need a healer. So let's get you up in this business. Should be good, because yeah, a couple recruits. We're gonna need to get some griffins dead. Isn't Nabingo the mall one? Where's that Mossy? Yeah, Nabingo's the axe guy, so he's fine. So he's still do the job pretty well. Yeah, she'll do good, he'll do good. He is iffy, I guess? Does he still only have his sleep mode? Yeah, he still has only Dust Devil. So Hover Draft. Grants Levitate. Okay, we're gonna want that on somebody later. I think I want to switch him, or rather give him side training in Earth here, because, well, A, he'll be able to get Petrifog later, but also, because, yeah, I need him to actually have some attack abilities. There we go. Wait, can I start the car with peanut butter? I don't see why not. Seems perfectly reasonable to me. Why wouldn't you be able to start a car with peanut butter? All you need is an absolute ocean of peanut butter, and then you just like put the car on top of it and just let it kind of slowly ooze forward. That's how you do it. Peanut butter tennis ball. That actually works, by the way. If you cut open a tennis ball and you shove some peanut butter in there, dude, they will annihilate that thing. It's not like they really need much help annihilating a tennis ball, but just so you know, that does work. Man. Dogs are cool. I like dogs. It's funny because I used to not like dogs several years ago, just because, well, it was basically raised by a crazy cat person. And the only dogs that I saw growing up were mangy and horrible and everything else. Yeah. Ended up, go figure, wound up training dogs as a hobby now. Go ahead and heal you. Yeah, we gotta deal with this first griffin pretty quick here. Get it all dead-like. Like I said, one-handed swords very good against these guys under these circumstances, because they can basically do a crap load of damage. All of the full extent of their bonus damage ends up coming in. Alright, could not afford that miss, so there's a very good chance he's going to take somebody out here. And that block might have prevented it. So you learned how to stop punches with a force field? Oh yeah, you know, that's a good way to do it. Just like, go and use the frickin' force, why not? Alright. What do we do here? You need a little bit of healing. Get you all fixed up and patched up like with these friggin' mind lasers. We'll do that. Can you please finish this guy? Both the two-handers should be able to finish this guy off. Can you just shank him? Thank you. So yeah, that's one of the yet another one of the awesome things about OV is if you've got a wizard with a dagger or something like that, go figure, they'll be able to actually stab something. Being a friggin' wizard doesn't mean that they're completely unable to do literally anything else. Let's go... Yeah, phalanx won't do much here because they can all fly. Also, hang on, I'm muting it for just a moment because it's about to get loud. Alrighty, go figure. I stand corrected. There was no loudness involved. Usually there's this thing where, like, they'll stop for a second. They're like, oh, I got one initial noise, and then they stop for a second, and then it gets twice as loud as soon as they end up catching their breath. Because they always gotta breathe real intense soon. See, if Garnet the Ninja doesn't get wrecked this fight, I'll go eat a peanut butter tennis ball. Well, you better get ready to enjoy some balls, sir. That ninja's making it. They're making it real good, like. It's almost like I got a plan here or something. Namely, that involves killing this thing. There we go, problem solved. Yeah, one-hand swords just in general are going to be pretty fantastic in these circumstances. Shadowbind. Yeah, funnily enough, everything up to a certain level, they will always remember. Then after a little while, they'll end up it'll end up turning around to the point where they can only remember stuff up to some other level. It's really weird as far as what the game assigns for what you can keep or not. I mean, just plain and simple, it makes no sense sometimes. But I was mentioning this earlier, and I don't know if anyone was here yet at the time, but I actually plan to do one of these for the Japanese version, the Japanese or vanilla version of this game. Apparently he's gonna potentially do like some kind of low-key version of One Vision someday, maybe. For the Japanese version, but apparently the stats are horribly jacked on that one, as in they go up 10 times faster than they should, which to me sounded absolutely hilarious. So yeah, obviously I was gonna go ahead and give that a little bit of a go. Alright, Plumia does not have recruit, so she does have stab murder mode, so we'll go ahead and do that. You are going to go over here, you're going to go ahead and give a bit of a leaf to Garnet here, you know why? To force Mr. Tanakaman to go have some balls. Alright, so we'll go ahead and leave that there. Let's see, silly wizards, I know how to render people unconscious by waving my hands from 20 people away. Oh man. Did you end up doing that whole... I don't even know how that would go together. You know what, screw that joke, never mind. We're going to go ahead and skip that. So I don't even know what that weird wizard comment after 30 years joke is friggin' from originally, so probably best not to quote it before knowing that. Anyway. There we go. So see, Garnet's holding up just fine. Under-leveled as all hell, generally under-equipped, but she's still holding her own. There we go. This guy is one of the more armored variants, so obviously the little basic shank isn't really gonna do much against him. But that's fine. We have punch that comes in from other places. Bam! Like this guy, Mr. friggin' Cannon Wizard over here. You go ahead and give this guy a little bit of a shanky shank. Thank you. You go ahead and give this guy a bit of a shanky shank too. There we go. Recruit, please. Come on, 8%. You know you want to happen. Bummer. See, I know the joke is like, oh yeah, you know, you never trust. Need short kunai. I don't have any kunais with me. Actually, I may never have any of those with me, so whatever. You may notice ninjas have some pretty baller movement range. They're pretty good at that kind of thing. It's almost like they make fantastic scouts or something. Let's see. Doesn't work unless they believe or they move their big toes. It's funny, that's actually a type of martial arts. Not the big toes part. Like, if you've ever seen where they have, you know, some guys looking all intense and everything, and he's just going and he's slightly pushing people over. Apparently, that's actually a form, it's technically considered a form of hypnotism. As in, they actually have a type of thing where they'll have a guy that's, as long as somebody vaguely believes in them, they can kind of sort of just mess with their head if they end up kind of looking at them right. Which, granted, isn't going to be very practical for self-defense whatsoever, even though they'll definitely claim it as they go and have shows like, oh yeah, look, there's like 5 guys attacking me, and I just friggin' clawed them all off with one hand and just pushed them over, and it was great. But yeah, not practical for self-defense, but it looks really cool to watch. And then most of them end up, you know, showing up on some show or another called a hoax years down the line, at which point presumably their career takes a little bit of a tank for about a week before they go back to it, because none of the people that are generally going to be looking at that sort of thing really have any sort of concerns as to whether or not the thing's actually legit. I'm sure I had a point, but whatever, I'm just speaking at this point. There we go, poison's done, and it's about to get loud over here, so 1 moment please. Hello there, Mr. KQ Runner. Sorry, it's potentially a little bit loud here, over here, kind of up and down. But yeah, the Scrooge challenge, long story short, is well, I can't really use stores or anything else. The idea is that Denam is an extraordinary Scrooge for Christmas and decided that none of his units can have proper equipment. So he's not going to spend any money. So no money can be spent unless it's on a crafting book. So for example, if I land on a town over the course of this run, I'm allowed to use that town for crafting, but nothing else. So I can't buy anything, I can't replenish anything, any of that. Everything just has to be done, you know, picking stuff up off the ground. And on top of that, I have to only go to either the next objective in the story or an optional area, and then if it's an optional area, it has to be the entire map. So, for example, I have to do everything in here in order to be able to get out, which puts a lot of extra risk on there. If at any point a party is beaten and Denam is not in it, essentially all of those units are to be immediately fired, and then yeah, they're just considered dead and lost. So, anyway. So that is the long and short of what the Scrooge challenge is. I tried putting in rules in the whole thing, but for some reason it wasn't coming up, so if anybody knows how to do that... oh. Well, everybody's off to go make some peanut butter, I suppose. But yeah, let me go do my usual between the fights check up on the kiddos here, so just one moment, please. Hello again. Alright, and I'm back. Everything seems all well and in order to keep on going. So, alright. As far as equipment goes at this point, I think we're doing surprisingly okay, all things considered. Like, for this part of the game, we are doing really solid, I have to say. There we go. Let's get our top two guys upgraded to Balder. I'll go ahead and get those Beast Tamers, their spears, because again, Beast Tamer's pretty fantastic at spears. The only reason I haven't gone and used all the rogues yet is just because I'm waiting for the right maps to be able to train them up. Yeah, let's get you a spear. Yeah, so we got one Volge that's free. Why is that other Volge not free? Probably because I'm not thinking that through. Okay, well anyway, so let's go ahead and learn spears on you. Hopefully all that loudness in the background ain't coming through. I don't know if it is. So I've got that, so he's going to need a 160 in order to be able to pull anything off. I'm actually going to use him for the basic training. I'm going to save the bird version for later. Just so, you know, worst case scenario, I can just transfer some skills into them or something. So as per usual, we'll have it lead, or have the party led by one recruiter, so Voltaire will do the job alright. We're going to need one heavy hitter, so I'm going to bring Esheva along. Probably going to one archer. Let's see, probably either have Canopus or one of the girls do it. I think we'll use Canopus. He's set out a couple fights. You know, he can stay and do a little bit of training. We'll bring this Beast Tamer out to the front lines. Probably should keep him as a midliner, but whatever. And then we'll have Garnet running around here as well as Yuri, maybe? Nah, that's gonna. I need some version of healer in here for safety. Yeah, let's get Malin in here. So the thing is, you may be wondering, like, what's exactly the deal with, you know, this party loadout not making any sense. Here's what I'm thinking. Basically, I need to get ninjas up to 10. Also, kiddos are getting all loud. Let's see. Wait, do you have capital letters in your name? You wouldn't let me have that? Huh. I don't know, maybe he's special or some crap, who knows? But yeah, so I want them up to 10 so that I can give this chick her swords back. On top of the fact that she hopefully will be getting more of her abilities. Like, yeah, she's at 6 now, so she should be a reasonably okay caster. So she should be able to do her job as just a general assassin caster pretty okay. Yeah, Voltaire and Esheva should be reasonably okay for the front line. Chamberlain's here for some extra damage. Canopus is here for harassment. So, nothing too fancy or mind-blowing here. I just want to try to get more points going. Oh my goodness, it's getting all loud and crap. Be right back. Alright, just so you know, yeah, after this fight, I'm probably gonna have to call it for the day, because it's been really, really loud on this end. So, yeah. I'm gonna be taking some injuries, but I think the overall result will be positive out of this one. Just because, right over here on the right, Chicky's got a boulder bow, meaning we can get a bunch of really good stuff out of Canopus for the future. Plus we got a bunch of just general boulder equipment all across the board, so stuff's looking pretty alright. Might recruit this knight for good measure. There we go. Didn't quite happen. Worth a try, though. Anyway, so, come on, join up. Yeah, not sure if you can hear all that stuff going on in the background. But we had a pretty intense tantrum spiral just a minute ago. Those happen. Those happen. Pretty intense when they do. But I'd like to hopefully have this fight end before we end up losing the ninja over there. Come on, please join us. Right, this chick's never going to join us. Or you join us, come on. I'm not worried about the injury so much as it's kind of a bummer to lose out on their experience. Yeah, and this one, that one I only want to join for her weapon. But yeah, are those kids' toys and stuff coming through? If anybody's still there. Usually as soon as I go silent, people are like, oh my god, not talking enough. Gotta leave. Can't handle it. Alright, yeah, that guy's dead to poison. Come on, Chicky. Come on. Surely you want to join us. You know, we've got cookies. Our team has cookies! And I did a whoops right there, meant to recruit them, accidentally stabbed them in the face, happens all the time. What can you do? What can you do? I mean, it's just life in general. I mean, I don't know who hasn't gone and had a conversation and accidentally put a sword through someone's face. Total accident. Ah, this chick does not die. Kind of annoying. It's kind of like the one random friggin' witch from the OB64 challenge yesterday. So yeah, if you didn't see that one, there was this one witch squad that basically was just... everybody else was doing just fine. She's just going along, taking everything like nobody's business, and then she has this one guy sitting in the side of her squad, repeatedly just coming through and getting crits on everybody, throwing everybody out of formation over and over and over, to the point where they're taking on 4 squads at once like nothing. Like, they can't even touch these guys. It was pretty impressive. There we go. Finally somebody dies to 1 damage. Can't hear the kids? Okay, well, I know I certainly can hear them in my ear holes. Anyway, everybody wants to go ahead and go and join here. Oh, also, we get some upgraded armor. Nice. So that's the newest version of the light vest, the Brigandine. Or the Cuirass, sorry. You can upgrade this to Brigandine. It's not really an upgrade so much as you can basically turn it into heavy armor. If you want, well, kind of medium armor, as it were. I'm actually going to go ahead and give that to Canopus, because he's going to have earned it. Actually, he's 1 level off from being able to have it, so maybe he hasn't earned it so good. But anyway, so I'm going to have to call it there for the day. Gonna be back with probably some Cerebro in the afternoon, something like that. But either way, this challenge is looking pretty promising so far. We still have to get through the rest of Phorampa here to see if that's really the case. But it seemed like a good point to go ahead and do this to try and level out the party a little bit. So at any rate, you guys have a great day. I will see you later, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.